Hello everyone, Miss Elizabeth here for First Congregational Church of Muskegon Confirmation Class. Today's video lesson continues the unit in our curriculum about seeking community that is inclusive of all people. Our lesson today is about connecting with kindness. Last week, we talked about remembering God's presence, and when we see God within ourselves and others, being kind is natural. We are following Progressive Christianity curriculum that First Congregational Church has purchased, although we do not own the copyright for this material. Our Unit 3 says that we seek to build community that is inclusive of all people together in the common life we share as God's children. Our affirmation is, the whole world is home and we are a divine family. Here's some quotes I want to share. First, from the Bible, the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 44 through 48. And this version is from the 5 Gospels. As you know, we were once told, you are to love your neighbor and you are to hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for your persecutors. You'll then become children of God. For God causes the sun to rise on both the bad and the good, and sends rain on both the just and the unjust. Tell me, if you love those who love you, why should you be commended for that? Even the tax collectors do as much, don't they? And if you greet only your friends, what have you done that is exceptional? Even the pagans do as much, don't they? To sum it up, you are to be unstinting in your generosity, in the way that God's generosity is unstinting. And a quote from Mother Teresa. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Going back to the Bible, this time the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verses 26 through 28. For in Christ Jesus you are all children of God through faith. As many of you as were baptized into Christ have clothed yourselves with Christ. There is no longer Jew or Greek. There is no longer slave or free. There is no longer male and female. For all of you are one in Christ Jesus. And from the song Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw, don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. And a quote from the Dalai Lama, my true religion is kindness. This lesson emphasizes that we are all one human family with one divine parent. Exposure to people of different cultures, ages, interests, and backgrounds can help us develop feelings of acceptance for others. Kindness, however, comes from a sense of connectedness. Old-fashioned paper doll chains, where each figure is connected to the next, can be a reminder of our connection to others. To make a reminder for yourself, you'll need a strip of paper. And gift wrap works well, about 4 inches wide and 12 inches long. So then fold it like an accordion, so you end up with sections about 2 inches wide. Then draw a figure on it, extending the arms to touch the outer edges of the folds. And then when you cut it open, cut it out, leave these parts uncut so that when you open it up, it is all connected. There we go. So all connected. It may be easier to act with kindness towards someone that we feel connected to, such as a neighbor or a friend. But if we remember our inner connection to all people, kindness to everyone becomes easier. We really are all of one kind, a divine family. A Bible story that demonstrates this connecting with kindness, even in the face of a culture of division, enmity, and hate, is the story of the Good Samaritan. May I suggest that you take some time to read it this week with fresh eyes. Is the Samaritan only mildly kind to the wounded man, or is the thing that makes his story exceptional the fact that he was unstinting in his generosity? You can find this story in the Bible in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. If you've been following these lessons this year, you know that I try to feature a commencement speech that connects with the theme of the lesson. American writer George Saunders delivered a commencement address about failures of kindness to the class of 2013 at Syracuse University. He spoke of how his most serious regrets were failures of kindness. How when another human being was there in front of me, suffering, and I responded sensibly, reservedly, and mildly. He most regrets failing to connect with kindness. Saunders ended his speech by saying, "So, quick end of speech advice, since, according to me, your life is going to be a gradual process of becoming kinder and more loving. Hurry it up. Speed it along. Start right now. There's a confusion in each of us, a sickness really, selfishness. But there's also a cure. So be a good and proactive and even somewhat desperate patient on your own behalf. Seek out the most efficacious anti-selfishness medicines energetically for the rest of your life. Do all the other things, the ambitious things. Travel, get rich, get famous, innovate, lead, fall in love, make and lose fortunes. But as you do, to the extent that you can, err in the direction of kindness. Do those things that incline you toward the big questions, and avoid the things that would reduce you and make you trivial. That luminous part of you that exists beyond personality, your soul, if you will, is as bright and shining as any that has ever been. Bright as Shakespeare's, bright as Gandhi's, bright as Mother Teresa's. Clear away everything that keeps you separate from this secret, luminous place. Believe it exists. Come to know it better. Nurture it. Share its fruits tirelessly. And someday, in 80 years, when you're 100 and I'm 134, and we're both so kind and loving, we're nearly unbearable, drop me a line. Let me know how your life has been. I hope you will say, it has been so wonderful. As it says in the Bible in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. And that reminds me of Tim McGraw's advice. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Kindness, it turns out, is hard. But when there is an awareness of our divine connection, then even if one never leaves the neighborhood, the whole world is home, and the human race is family. I'll put a link to the YouTube video of George Saunders' speech in the description section for this video below. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.